Hey y'all, it's Amanda with Tap Mom and the Bake Brigade. Hope everybody's having a good Thursday night. Well, yeah, it's late, but y'all know that already. Well, this is kind of how I roll. Late. I've been just watching TV and crocheting pretty much all day. Yesterday, me and John, I had to take Johnny to the doctor because we had this form that needed to be filled out for the doctor for his program that we're trying to get him in, and apparently the form required the doctor to do a complete blood count, a CBC. So Johnny had to be poked and get his blood drawn, and so we had that done, and the doctor said they would call me when they got done with the form. And so when we get that back, hopefully soon, we'll take that over. Sorry, there's some thunder and lightning going on here, but it's kind of blinking the lights. But so once we get that done, then sorry, I had my charger plugged in and it seemed to be straining to be plugged in there. But so once we get all that, get all the paperwork filled out, we'll go over to the local office and turn in what we got and see what they say. So it's just a waiting game, really. I'm waiting on the doctor to do his part and fill out the paperwork. If we don't hear anything tomorrow, I will call them Monday and see what's up. I don't know how long it takes to get the blood work back. I'm thinking maybe a day or two. I don't know. I hadn't had to wait on blood work from him before, so usually he just draws my blood one appointment, and then the following month he tells me what the blood results are. So I have no way of gauging how long it takes for those blood tests to actually come back. I've never asked. So, and I didn't think to ask yesterday. So when we got out of the doctor's, we went, where were we? We were in the Family Dollar. It's a little discount store here. I don't know if y'all have Family Dollars where you are, but I had noticed that Leroy had somehow tunneled a hole to the other part of the yard. We have like a little fenced off area just to the left of the back porch that is their fenced in area. And well, the back porch is in bad shape anyway, but I noticed where he got out at, and I did my best to block it out so he couldn't do it again. I really didn't bank on him being that strong and that determined, but I didn't know, because as far as Renew, the regular backyard, the other half of the yard was fairly secure and he couldn't get out of it, or at least that's what we thought. So when John and I were leaving for the doctor, we noticed that he was in the other part of the yard, and so we thought he was secure and he would be fine, especially since he could get back to the back porch where his water was. So we were standing in Family Dollar, and I was getting some nails to go and make the back porch more secure, best I could anyway. And we got a phone call, and the lady said, "Are you Leroy's owner?" You see this? This is not a happy face. That was not happiness that call brought to my heart. But I have a little name tag around Leroy's that on his collar, and it says his name, and it has my phone number and Will's phone number on the back of it. And he had gotten out and went about 3 houses over, and some ladies called him and put him on their porch and called me. And so when we left Family Dollar, I came home and I came in the house and got a leash and walked down there and got my dog. They were loving on him. They thought he was the cutest thing. And I'm like, yeah, until you had to live with him. Until you had to live with him. He's cute until you had to live with him. Oh, Lord. He almost went back to the shelter this week. I'm not going to lie. He's really just pushed me to the limits. But we got back. I got him back to the house, and then Johnny and I decided to go out to the yard and see what we could do about fixing the back porch, at least fix it enough until our landlord can come fix it for good. And so we took some boards that were on the porch, and we got some nails and our hammer, and I went out there and did the best I could and put stuff, I even carried a cinder block from the front yard to the backyard, which, let me tell you, when you haven't been working out and you haven't done a whole lot of heavy lifting, that daggum thing was heavy. Johnny had already brought one or two of them to the backyard for me, but I was letting Johnny rest, and because he doesn't have hand-eye coordination really well, so all the hammering and stuff of nails was left to me. And I'm not incredibly physically strong. I'm getting there, but I'm just not physically that strong. But my hand-eye coordination is fine. So yeah, I hammered some nails into this one board to the back porch, and then I found another big, I don't know, a pallet-looking thing, a big old piece of some boards that were all, you know, nailed together and stuff. And I put that up against the outside and then secured it with heavy things that we found in the yard. This is just jury rigged, to be honest. This is redneckified, as some people would say. We did the best we could with what we have. So yeah, I nailed a board and then I propped some other stuff in there, and I think it's fairly secure. I haven't trusted him to the backyard yet. I'll let him and Theo go out to use the bathroom, but then they come right back in. But I haven't put him back there for any length of time, like I was. Just to get a break from him, I would put him outside. Or if I was losing my temper and didn't trust my next actions, I would put him outside. So that's what I've been doing. And unfortunately, he's a destructive dog. And he destroyed the back porch, and I patched it as best as I can. I just don't know if I can trust him back there yet. My landlord's going to come look at it, I'm sure. He was here mowing the front grass, but I was asleep when he came, so he said he just wanted to do the front part because he didn't want to wake me up, because I get a little cranky when I get woke up. Especially with lawnmowers and weed eaters. I get a little beastie. And I'm afraid I've probably snapped at the landlord a couple of times. But luckily, he's a family friend, and he's used to difficult women. He's married to a difficult woman. So he was okay. So he just knows not to try to weed eat and mow near my windows and stuff when I'm sleeping, because that's disrespectful. In my opinion, that's disrespectful. So needless to say, he just did the front yard and went away. Hopefully he'll come back and do the rest of it tomorrow. But I've been working on a top all day. The first panel, I'm doing like a back panel. I'll do the back panel. I'm going to do solid stitches, and then let me show you. This is what I'm working on today. So this is the back panel, but I have these stitch markers marked off for the neck area. This is just this middle one here. That's where I marked the halfway point between sides, because I got 84 stitches here. And so I know this looks kind of big, and it just kind of, it is, but it'll have some nice drape, because what I noticed when I washed my other top in my dress is they shrank just a little. So I figured I'd make this one just a little bigger than it needs to be, so that when I wash it, it should be about right. That's the plan anyway. But I marked these off because I'm going to, even though this is the back panel, I'm going to probably make some shoulders on this, because I'm just designing it as I go. And this probably won't be a tutorial, because this is totally winging it and not to be repeated. I'm doing this for a specific person that I'm going to be gifting this to, and so this is just the back panel, and then I know the stitch count. I know how many chains I did, and I'll do the front panel, because the front panel will not be all solid like this, because this comes yeah, this is, it needs shoulders on it to be the right, let's see if I can get that, because see, if you look, that's about right for the neck. So I'm going to put some shoulders on it so that it can go up and over the shoulders, even though it will be the back panel, so the shoulders will be coming up, and then I'll make the same shoulders on the front piece. But what I'm gonna do is I got a top the same size as her. I got a t-shirt, and so what I'm gonna do is on the front piece is I'll let it come about. Let's see if I can lower this so I can show y'all. I'm gonna let it come to right here, and then I'm gonna do some open stitches here, and then the shoulders. So that's the, that just to give a nice little, I don't know what stitch I'm going to use right there. I'll figure it out when I get there. I don't know if I'll use granny's, the granny cluster stitch. I don't know if I'll do that, or something a little out of the box for me. But I'm just, like I said, designing it as I go. And it's going to be, specifically for her. And so that's why I'm not going to do a tutorial, because I don't, if I make another one, it will probably be totally different from this one, because I just like to make things custom and different. So I'm just kind of completely winging it. I didn't look at a tutorial or anything. I just kind of had an idea of in my head what I wanted it to look like, and so that's what I'm doing. So it'll have some shoulders on here to give it the proper length to where it'll go, I need to stand up with it and make sure I don't need to add more length. But this is two skeins in here is what I got here. Well, I have about this much left off the second skein, if it'll stop moving, just a little bit there. But yeah, so I think it'll be all right. I'll probably stand up with it and make sure I don't need any more rows. I don't know if I'll need any more rows yet, but at least I know how many stitches and what my halfway mark is on the stitches and that kind of thing. So I'll know. I notated all this in my phone, as I usually do, and so I just keep track when I make something unique or that I may want to refer back to, especially when I'm doing 2 panels or something. I make notes. You did this on the front on this panel, and you need to do the same on the other panel. So normally I would start the panels at the same time, do 1 skein on one side, 1 skein on the other, but I didn't do that this time. I just didn't because I knew that I wanted to do the solid stitch one for the back, and then I'll do a little, with the little design element here, but from about here down will be solid stitches, because I want her to be able to wear it with just a bra and not have to wear a tank top under it. Because this, trust me, I love this cotton from Hobby Lobby. This is heavy enough. You don't really want to have a tank top under it if you don't have to. So for modesty's sake, she should be able to wear just a sports bra or a regular bra under here and be, have her modesty covered and be completely comfortable that way. Now, her taste might be different than mine. She may just, go ahead and wear a tank top under it because she, don't want to take chances of someone seeing her flesh through the stitches. That's perfectly fine. I don't know how she feels about it. I didn't ask. I just told her I was making her something and what was her size. So that's where I started. So I'm just have my own creative freedom here, and I watched quite a few tutorials about tops and stuff, so I can't tell you any one specific tutorial that inspired me or that I'm taking cues or techniques from. I just watch a lot. I watch a lot of tutorials and a lot of things, different things that get made. I don't read patterns. I struggle with that. And I don't work from when I have a picture in my head of something, I just go for it. I just do. I was that way when I was painting, and I was that way when I used to do mosaic art with cut glass and cut tiles. I did a whole big bird bath, almost 10 years ago, probably 10 years ago. I did a beautiful turquoise bird bath, and I put a bunch of stones on the outside and then tile all in the bowl of the bird bath. It was completely tiled, and that stuff that you put in between, grout, and I grouted it all, and then the base of it had tile in this one little spot, and it was just really pretty. It was heavy because it was it was a concrete bird bath. So yeah, huge and heavy. I didn't lift it. The boy, I think Will lifted it for me to bring in the house so I could work on it, and then take it outside because I painted it all turquoise before I put the stones on. So the base of it was really a light turquoise color. It was probably this color all over. It was this color, and then I had different colored stones and tile on it. And I had given it to my best friend at the time. She was like 31 years older than me, so she's an older lady. And I think it was a Mother's Day gift to her, because her daughters had helped me purchase the bird bath itself. So it was kind of a gift to her for me and her girls. And so yeah, and she absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. And it was really beautiful in her yard and for the birds and whatnot. So yeah. And I did some other pieces. I made some fleur-de-lis with different colored tiles and glass, and I made a couple of picture frames, just various things. But then I'm a little bit of a klutz, so I kept cutting my fingers dealing with the cut glass. So and then I picked up painting, and this is before I was diagnosed bipolar. So I was hobby jumping. So then I decided to take off with the painting, and so I got rid of all my mosaic stuff, and I think I gifted a bunch of it to somebody. I don't remember what all I did with it, but I'm sure I gave it away, because that's just me. If someone can use it and I don't need it, here you go. And then I picked up painting, and I did that for several years. And then I picked up loom knitting, and I did that for a while. I still do that, because my ultimate goal when I started loom knitting was to learn how to do crochet. And so that took me about a year. Once I really set my mind to it, it took me about a year to finally have it click in my head. And so I found some tutorials of basic tutorials from Pamela's Adoring Crochet. She has some basic tutorials, how to do a single crochet, how to do a double crochet, how to do a granny square, and that became the thing that clicked in my head. It was something about the way she was teaching it that just psh, and then I started. Once I got the double crochet, I was so excited. I think me and Cindy with Pups and Crochet, she and I had just got into being friends. We hadn't been friends very long. And I had to text her. I said, "You're not going to believe this." And so I sent her a little swatch, and she's like, "What? You're crocheting?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I was so excited because it just came so hard for me to learn. I don't know why, but once I got it, I got it. And then I did some blankets, and of course because with loom knitting, with the large gauge looms, you use 2 strands of worsted weight yarn. And so I was so used to working with 2 strands of worsted weight yarn, when I got to crocheting, I thought I had to do it that way too. So Will's blanket that I made him was done with 2 strands of Karen 1-pounder and Karen jumbo, because I used a variegated. Variegated is their jumbo, and there's the 1-pounders are the solid colors. And so I made him this big 2-strand, really thick blanket. I got tired of working on it, so it's not as wide as it should be, but it's long. So and then I made I used latte cake and some big twist yarn, and made another blanket that was orange. It was really pretty, and gave that to someone that I no longer speak to. But and when I was loom knitting, I had this figure 8 loom that I did Johnny a blanket on, so he already had a blanket, but his new blanket's in the dryer. But yeah, so and I think it's been about 2 years 4 months or something like that. I want to say, yeah, it was 2021 maybe, so I guess it's been closer to 3 years. I'm trying to remember. I know I started the channel in 2021. Oh, so it's 2022 maybe, because it took me from the time I started my channel until after the new year before I learned to crochet. So yeah. But yeah, and then I finally figured out how to crochet with just one strand of yarn. And so that was, that was a learning curve. But it's just been a steady progression, and once I found a tutorial, because I'd been watching one channel, I can't remember which channel it was, but she kept talking about these hexagon cardigans and how easy they were and this and that and the other, and I was like, really? And so she put a couple of tutorials in her description. I went and checked them out, and I'm like, you know what, that does look easy. And so I just I made some sweaters for the boys, and then I made another sweater for someone else, and they came out so well. I just, and the more I did them, the better they looked. And so I just, started making and selling those last year. I think I've made and sold like 20, which, it's not a ton, but it is when you don't, when you're still new, and to be able to do that. And then of course there come the granny square pullover that I've, made a lot. I made a lot of them too, and sold them as well. And they've been every different color and style you can imagine. Each one is is different and a little bit custom. And so they're not cookie cutter sweaters. I don't make cookie cutter sweaters. I make them per the person that I'm making it for. I customize it for the person I'm making it for. And so it's not going to be the same every time I make a sweater or a top or whatever. It's never the same. It's never going to be like anybody else's, because it's it's custom. I do it based on things they tell me about themselves, on their measurements. I'll have them measure from the shoulder to the waist, so we can, or where they would like that top to end at, so that they're comfortable when they get it. You know what I mean? And do they want long sleeves or 3/4 length sleeves or short sleeve? Like I made a sweater for Cindy over at Posted Crochet for her birthday. And I know that Cindy gets really hot really easily. And so I made her sweater a short sleeve, but it's the fuzzy yarn. I used the Karen Colorama Halo yarn in the color Orchid, and made that and sent it up to her in Illinois. She probably won't even wear it until it gets cold again, because she's just very hot natured, and their summers up there are brutal, just like they are here. So yeah. But I've sent, let's see, even Serena up in Canada has got a cardigan, a solid stitch cardigan that I made. And there's another lady that emailed me about one of my tops, the Rising Phoenix top. And so I'll be making that for her soon. But I wanted to make this one for someone special. And we hadn't really talked much about her making a deposit, the one in Canada, but I'm thinking I kind of would feel more secure if I start making it, that that I had a buyer, a committed buyer. So because she's in Canada, and there's and the shipping, I've sent packages to Serena before, and it cost me like $60 per package that I've sent in postage. So it's not cheap to send from here to there, and then you got to fill out a customs form and all that good stuff. I don't know if they do customs forms up there in Canada from for folks to send stuff from Canada, but I don't think so. I don't think they do a customs thing. I think that might just be a U.S. thing that requires that form to be attached to the to the item you're mailing. So, but I've figured out how all that works. So it was a learning curve too. But look for more on this top soon, because I just did all of this since last night. So it won't take me long to get the top done. And then I'll wash it and get her address and send it to her, and then y'all will probably see it on her channel. But I'm not going to tell you who, because I don't want to ruin it for anybody. But she's well known, and she does a lot for a lot of people, and I just wanted to do something for her, because I wanted her to know that I see her and I see the kind of person she is. So anyway, I was just looking around to see if I had anything else to talk about besides my dog and my crochet, but at least y'all get a little more background on my crafting journey, and what crafts I used to do versus and I have done those diamond paintings. I did a ton of those back in like 2020. like a whole bunch, and then I would do them, and then I would take Mod Podge glue and cover it to make sure that the diamond stayed put, and then I would, you know, cut the border off and put them on painting canvases. And I got a couple. I still have about 3 of them, but I would give them as gifts and stuff. But I just got to doing them, and it became a thing with me, and I did a whole bunch of them. And but I got 2 big old ones with Indians and headdresses and all, and I got them back. No, they might be in the living room. I don't remember where they are, but they're somewhere stored. And then when I got rid of my painting supplies, I did keep just a handful of my paintings that I thought were decent. I didn't keep many, but just a handful, because I wasn't that great at painting. I was okay, you know, okay, but I wasn't the best painter. So it was more of a therapy thing for me than anything, just something to help me through life, you know. We all need those things that give us peace, and I was at peace playing in paints and making things. I like beach, landscape, beach type things, and I did do a cityscape a couple of cityscapes, and I don't know if I still have those, but if y'all are interested in seeing some of those, I'll dig them out and show them on a video if some of y'all are interested in seeing my last few paintings that, you know, I thought were some of my better ones. So I'll bring those out and show them to you if y'all are interested, and if not, that's okay too. I need to pull them out and put them on the wall, but I've just never been a real decorative type person. I mean, even in our old place that we lived for 11 years, I had very few things on the wall. I'm just not like that. I've never put much stock in putting things on the walls. I should, but I don't care enough to worry with that. I don't. It's just, when it's not your thing, it's just not your thing. There's one thing on the wall in the whole house, and it's a big sunflower painting that someone painted me in 2008. And it's a beautiful sunflower painting. And she took art in college and everything, so she's very, very talented. But she gave it to me as a gift, and it's really beautiful. And so that's on the wall. It's a big, heavy painting too, because she did it on a wood board, and so it's big, and it's professionally done. So, and I value that. I treasure that painting big time. So it ended up being on the wall. But that's the only painting I think I have that someone else painted, because she was a much better painter than me. But anyway, that's about all I got for y'all tonight. I'm gonna upload this video and watch some crime dramas, some documentaries, and then I'll round it out with some Golden Girls so that I laugh after watching all that sadness. But I just find it fascinating, you know, crime drama. I just find it fascinating. And so there you have it. I watch a lot of it because it's fascinating to me, and I really like the ones where they convict the person that did the crime, you know, instead of the ones where, you know, it's open-ended and they don't, you know, they haven't convicted anybody and they don't know who did it. And I like to watch the ones where they've actually solved the crime, and not where they're leaving it lingering, you know, maybe the person disappeared and it was never seen again. I don't like ones without endings. You know, I like to know that the bad guy's in jail. Female or male, bad guy is bad guy. But, you know, and sometimes I watch them and I'm like, I don't know how they convicted that person, you know, because they didn't really have much on them, you know. So sometimes I scratch my head, did they really do it, or was it someone else, you know? But very few times do I doubt that they got the right person. Not very many times. Maybe a couple of times I felt like they weren't exactly getting the right person. But you know, what can you? I'm just watching it. I have no dog in that fight. But it is fascinating, especially the 48 Hours show where they, you know, showcase a case, and sometimes they just showcase the status of a particular case because there hasn't been an ending to that one yet. But most of the time, most of the ones I watch, they've already got their bad guy. So, and of course, Leroy's sacked out on my bed at the moment, but he's been actually pretty decent today, with the exception of doing this play thing with Theo. I don't like to let them do that because I just doctored Theo a couple of days ago, and he had bites on his ear, and which the bites were severe enough that he had sores, and he kept shaking his head, you know, and I was like, something's up with your ears. So I took some little eucalyptus wipes that I got off of Amazon a while back, because I was cleaning Axel's ears with them, because labs are notorious for getting ear infections, and so I would try to clean his ears with these wipes. I don't know what I did with them, but I was cleaning Theo's ears with them, and I happened to notice he had several injuries on his ear and little sores and stuff, so I, you know, cleaned it up, and then I put some antibiotic ointment on there, and they're all cleared up now. He heals so fast, and which is wonderful. But yeah, already they're just about gone now. So I got really nervous earlier when they were in the living room playing, and I was like, no, he don't need to be playing like that, because that's how Theo got bit up ears. So I'm not letting him do that to Theo again. I'm just going to try to do my best. We got a month to go before I get the free neutering. If I wanted to pay for it, it's $385, which I do not have. So that's why I'm trying to bide my time so I could take him back to the shelter, and they have arranged for a service to do his neutering for free. And so, much as I don't want to wait, I don't have the money to do anything else but wait. So that's why I'm, you know, kind of looking to try to take on more commission tops, you know, or sweaters. I mean, I know it's summer, but if you want a sweater for later, then that's fine too. I got some yarn coming from Premier, some more of the Color Fusion Chunky, because Cheryl had sent me 6 skeins, and so I ordered another 7 skeins from Premier, because they had that free shipping of orders for 25 or more. And then they had the Fusion Chunky on sale for like $3 and something. And I have looked high and low for that yarn to be cheaper than $4.99, and that was the first time I'd seen it for cheaper than $4.99. So I said, well, let me go ahead and get it. I know I'm probably not going to make that sweater until for a few more months, but I wanted to go ahead and at least have the yarn on hand to do it. But when he saw that yarn and he touched it, and he said, "Ooh, Mama, can I get a sweater out of this?" What do? You got to do it, you know. I just knew that I was going to need more than 6 skeins of that yarn, because it's a bulky 5. But you know, 6 skeins is not going to make a full grown man sweater. So, oh, and Johnny had lost 12 pounds too when we took him to the doctor. He lost 12 pounds since the last time he was at the doctor, which is good. I knew he had went down a pant size, but Johnny has really broad shoulders, and then he's what they call barrel chested. So his chest is more, his rib cage is more bowed out, and he's really broad there. So he's not incredibly overweight. He's just really big. So he doesn't have a huge belly or any of that. He has a bit of a belly, but not like huge. But his chest area is just, you know, and that's from his father. That's not from me, because the more weight I lose, the smaller I get. I can look at old videos of me, and my shoulders are smaller. Everything's smaller. But when Johnny loses weight, his shoulders and chest will probably be the same size, because he's just built that way. But my oldest son is he's not. They're the same height. They're same 6 foot, but Johnny beats him in the big department, because Will only wears like a 1X, or like a 1X shirt. Johnny's still in a 3X shirt, and I think Will's down to, he's between a 36 and a 38 waist. So he used to be a size 50 pants, but he lost a ton of weight in the last year or so, and so now he can wear like 36, 38s. So he's pretty small compared to John. John, I think, is a 44, something like that. But he's coming down in the waist area. But you know, they're both, and of course Johnny's more, his legs are longer than Will's, and but they both wear like a 32 in the length. So the things you know about your kids. But when you live in the same house and you do people's laundry and occasionally buy them clothes, it helps to know what size they are. But yeah, I think I bought them underwear not too long ago, because when you wash their clothes and you see their underwear has more holes in it than my crochet, it's time to get them some underwear. And I just happened to find some on sale, so there you have it. They are spoiled rotten, my sons are. They're spoiled rotten, and I love every minute of it. Because when in the beginning, when it was just me and them, we barely scraped by. Our main staple in the house was hamburger helper, and there wasn't any kind of dessert, and we just had enough just for the three of us. And you know, and then we ate a lot of these TV dinners where you can get the meat in a tray. You know, there was some pork something that I used to get all the barbecue pork something that I used to get all the time in the banquet meals, where there was 6 pieces of meat, and so each of us would get 2 pieces of meat, and then we'd have like some shells and cheese or macaroni and cheese to go with that, and or mashed potatoes, you know, and that was our meal, you know, and because it was cheap, and when you're feeding 2 growing boys, you got to go with cheap. And so there wasn't a whole lot of fancy stuff done. We didn't go out to eat. Occasionally we would go to the $2 movie theater, and so that was our treat, to go to the $2 movies. I think it was on Wednesdays or something like that. I take them on a day off, but there forever I was driving a $400 car. Yeah, that's the one I first bought when I got separated in 2000 or 2001, something like that. And so yeah, I bought the first vehicle I was able to buy was $400. It was a little Ford LTD, little small white car, and I drove it until I couldn't drive it anymore, until it blew a head gasket. And then it was paperweight, and then I ended up selling it to a guy because it had new tires on it, and he wanted the tires, and you know, but yeah, so that's what happened to that. And my next car, I'm trying to remember what the next car was. I think it was a Crown Victoria. Yeah, it was a Crown Vic. It was a 84 Crown Victoria, and I paid a whole $700 for it. But it was super nice. It was an old couple that had just upgraded their car and wanted to just, you know, let someone get a good deal. But it was a big old 8-cylinder. That thing could really go. It was fast. I got a speeding ticket in that car. Because I wasn't used to an 8-cylinder, and it would just, you know, get away from you real quick. But it had nice seats and a radio that actually worked, and I think it even had air conditioning, and I wasn't used to any of that. But yeah, we have been through it. We have really been through it. And so when we moved back down here about 15 years ago, and then I got a really, you know, really good paying job. And so I started spoiling my kids. I was like, we hadn't had anything for so long that, you know, for once I could spoil them, you know, except for at income tax time, when I'd get an income tax refund. That was like our second Christmas, because we would buy stuff then that we couldn't normally get, or we'd take a trip, you know, we might take a road trip somewhere, you know, that we wouldn't normally get to go. But income tax time was usually our second Christmas. And that went on like that for years and years. If we ever had anything, it was because of income tax refunds. But I think every single mom probably goes through that, and I don't think I'm any different than anybody else, or any better than anybody else. Our just experiences are unique to us. But I think raising them, just me and them, for so long made us even closer, you know. And I tell you, I couldn't have done any better than those 2 guys there. So, you know, they're just wonderful, wonderful people, and I'm so proud of them. I'm lucky that the good Lord chose me to be their mom. Yeah. Anyway, I've run my mouth enough, made a good long video, so you can work on your project or enjoy your drive in from work. Hey, one. You be safe and just listen to me. Don't watch me while you're driving now. Just listen. Anyway, I love y'all so much, and so does Jesus. And please remember to adopt, don't shop. Your best friend could be waiting for you at the shelter or the rescue. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye now.